Thank you so much for joining. My name is Alana, and I help HR professionals who are not native speakers of English, and I help them feel confident and professional when they need to speak in English at work. For example, in high stakes situations like salary talks or performance reviews, strategy meetings, supporting their managers, discussing business with their leaders, and so on and so on. And today we will zero in on on a great topic. It's something that I hear again and again, over and over from many of you, and that's how do I react to unexpected questions? How do I handle answering on the spot when I'm not ready, when I'm just not prepared for that question, which is completely natural, right? Maybe that's something that you also know, and you can imagine a situation or you can remember a moment when a manager or your boss, a colleague or candidate asked you a question and your mind, your brain just went blank. It just froze completely. And this can be super stressful moment, of course, because our brain just shuts down. It's very difficult to find the right words. It's very difficult to kind of start even talking, working, and of course, it can let us down very, very much. We can feel very uncomfortable. Now, the good news is that the key to this situation is not having a perfect answer every single time. This is just not possible, right? But what can help is having a few strategies or having or knowing a few simple phrases that will help you react in that moment, right? Again, we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to have all the information. It's not even possible sometimes. Some questions are just too big, too broad, too unclear. And trying to react immediately might actually do more harm than it wouldn't be really beneficial, right? So let's get to those strategies. And there are just two, my favorite actually. First one is pause and clarify. Why pause? Going back to that situation where our brain is frozen, it's blank, it's very difficult to react. Uh, Taking a little pause, breathing in, breathing out, can already help so much our brain to kind of restart. It will still be stressful. It might still be uncomfortable if the situation is very important to you. But your body will start to feel a little bit more comfortable. It will start to function a little bit more, and that's sometimes what it takes to react, right? So just taking a little break, and it's fine. We don't have to answer quickly. Quicker answer doesn't mean better answer. Sometimes it's the opposite. So instead of just jumping straight to the answer, to the reaction, we can take a little break, breathe in, breathe out, and then ask a clarifying question. Let's see how it can look like. So let's imagine a question. Um, why can we give bigger salary increases this year? Right? Maybe coming from a manager, or your colleague, or whoever. Now, this is a big question, right? There might be a lot of stories behind the strategy, etc., decisions. And maybe as an HR professional, you want to react, but you can't share much. You don't know how much to share. It's not super clear. So maybe you would say something like, well, it's not our decision or something, which might not be something that really helps the situation. What you can do, you can take a breath to settle a little bit, because it is quite sensitive question, I can imagine. And you can ask a clarifying question. How can it look like? For example, by bigger salaries, do you mean compared to last year or compared to the market levels right now? Right? So there is something about the question. It's quite big, it's quite broad. You don't have to answer right away. Sometimes it's better to ask a clarifying question. Yeah. So what exactly do you mean? Yeah. By this, do you mean this or that? So this buys you a little bit of time. The person explains a little bit. You can calm down. You can kind of understand better where they are coming from as well. One more example could be, so when you say bigger increases, what kind of percentage do you have in mind? Again, you're not shutting this person down, right? You're continuing the conversation, but you are getting more information, you're asking for more details for their viewpoint. And this can help you then continue the conversation. Your brain has a little bit more chance, a little bit more time to calm down and to start working properly. And then maybe you can answer with more details, whatever is needed, right? Great. So pause and clarify. I think that's my all the time most favorite tool. I use it all the time. Right. And then the second tool, and that's to comment to follow up. Some questions are just really too big, too broad. And some people, or sometimes people feel afraid to say, I don't know, even though that they don't have the information at the moment. But that's just completely natural, right? Sometimes we want to make sure that we have the right data, that we don't make a mistake when answering the question. Again, faster answer doesn't necessarily mean better answer. If you want to be a true professional, you want to make sure you answer with, expertise. So, how this can look like? There's going to be a question. What will be the exact costs if we change benefits? Imagine there's a change coming up, and there's a question from, again, management or your colleagues, or from the CFO. So again, right, we might want to show, oh, we are the experts. Of course, we thought about this question. Of course, we have numbers ready, but maybe not. And that can be perfectly valid. What is better than to, say simply, I don't know, or making something up, which I'm sure nobody would do. A great reaction can be, I don't have the numbers right now, but I'll check with our finance team and get back to you tomorrow. So there are a few parts of this reaction, right? You're acknowledging, you're honest with you not having all the information at the moment. Very natural. This is something very normal, right? Let's be honest with each other. Let's not be like ChatGPT when hallucinating and someone asks us a question, we have no answer, so we just hallucinate some numbers. Let's not. Right? So just saying, I don't have the numbers right now. Just a statement. No, sorry. Yeah, well, we don't really have to be sorry. Yeah, that's the fact. I don't have the numbers right now because I need to check them. Yeah, I will check with whoever, or I will check them, or I will look in the system, whatever. And I get back to you tomorrow, by the end of the week, next week. By putting kind of a deadline for ourselves and the other person, we're also making a commitment. The person has an idea that you have the intention to go back to them, you have the intention to answer their question. So they feel important, they feel heard and valued. And of course, it's great if we can meet the deadline. Because if we promise something and then we don't follow up, then that can be a problem. Right. Um, Excellent. Let's try one more example and show how it can look like with using different strategies, or both of those strategies. So let's have a question um, like, what's your plan to reduce staff turnover? Huge question, huge issue, right? There's a problem with high turnover. So what's your plan, HR? What are you going to do? So how it can look like if we calm down, pause. I mean, the pause can come anytime, right? And then how we can clarify, ask clarifying question. For example, when you say turnover, do you mean voluntary resignations or also people leaving after probation? Right? What type of turnover are you talking about? Yeah, when you say turnover, what type of turnover do you mean? Because that might be different um, situation or different reasons as well. Or we can kind of switch the question to the other person. Again, it's clarifying. We're asking about their viewpoint. For example, very nice phrase that I really like. Can you tell me? Yeah, can you tell me more about what you see as the main reason people are leaving? Very often, when people ask a question, they have some opinions. Yeah, they also want to show their expertise, their viewpoints, their opinions. And if we give them the space, they can share their viewpoint, and this gives us time to react. We have more details about what they actually think about the situation, and this can help us come up with um, the reaction that is appropriate in the situation. Right. And if we understand what's going on, it's maybe a meeting about turnover, but you just need a little bit more time. Yeah, this is a huge question. What can be another good reaction with the comment and follow up? I'll gather the I'll gather the latest exit interview data and share the key points with you by the end of the week. Right. So I'll gather the data, or I'll research the data. I will look into the system and share the key points with you by the end of the week, by the end of the next week, by whatever. Right. Uh, Very good. So nothing super complicated, right? It's not something complex. We don't have to use super difficult vocabulary necessarily, but it's more about having easy way of formulating a question or a phrase on the spot, and a little can be enough, right? Having them all those questions, all those reactions are quite universal. You can use them almost in any situation. I'm talking from experience. Very good. So next time, when you know that you're going in a meeting, you know that maybe there will be some difficult questions that you just cannot prepare for, because we cannot prepare for every question there is. I hope that you feel a little bit more comfortable and confident, because there are tools that can help you react on those questions, to those questions, even if at the moment you don't have all the data necessary or all the information. So yeah, thank you so much for joining, for watching. Let me know what you thought about it. And maybe final thought, confidence doesn't mean that we know everything every time. Confidence, at least for me, means that we know what to do when the situation gets tricky, and we have the tools. That's it. Have a great day, and bye bye.